Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Richard Sachs. It's Lost Arts Radio Live. This is the safe stream version for your comfort and safety and not to have to worry about any distressing thoughts or feelings or anything. We have Play-Doh and crayons in the other room for any of you that get distressed just from unsafe things that you may have run into during the day before this safe show. You hear people talk about prepping, and usually those are really evil people, but they do have a point that if you are low on crayons or Play-Doh or anything that makes you feel comfortable, this is a perfect time to stock up because we don't know about the prices. They may go up in the future, and you can get some excellent deals on Amazon.com right now, and they're not paying me to say that, believe it or not. So the show today, the regular Lost Arts Radio live show, as usual, was going to be on some evil topic. Like there's this get together that they have once a year, the bad people, you know, the conservatives, and they invite the worst people they can find, like Donald Trump, and even sometimes people as bad as that you don't know about. And they get to talk and say all these, non-inclusive things that really need to be censored, and they're almost totally censored, but not quite. So we thought if the regular Lost Arts Radio live show was going to be about that, then if you pass that through the filter of safety and inclusion and diversity and all the good ideas, justice, of course, social justice, and what are the other good principles of life? I'm not sure. There's a lot of them. Anyway, if you pass it through that filter and transpose it or translate it into what would be appropriate for a program that would be approved by this platform, and we wouldn't get, strikes and stuff like that, then I figured what the title would become is something that is just incredible wisdom, such as mainstream media is your friend. Doesn't it just make you feel more relaxed to think about that? And for those of you that study Eastern traditions, isn't it the perfect mantra? Mainstream media is your friend. And I have a couple of things quickly to say about that, just to clarify what we're talking about. And I have to, as usual, this will be very short because I'm still under contract to do the regular show, the evil one, that we save you from on this platform. And that one starts in a little over 20 minutes, so I'll be quick and brief. But on the theme of mainstream media as your friend, there's many ways to understand that. And there are many ways to understand that, to be grammatically correct. One of them is to understand that independent thought and unapproved thought, which comes from independent thought, are very stressful, both to the person who has independent thought, because it does things to their brain activity where when you're in the comfortable zombie mood or zombie mode, you don't have to undergo that kind of internal stress. And it's also very stressful for all the diligent, hardworking, devoted people working for the big tech platforms who are trying to remove anything that wouldn't be safe for you to see or hear. And they almost get no appreciation, especially for all the stress that they go through in that job of removing the unacceptable posts and videos and things like that. So independent thought and critical thinking, and this was explained also in a great article in the New York Times that was saying, don't even think about critical thinking or try it yourself at home or anywhere else you are. I mean, most of you are at home now for your own safety, but don't try it anywhere that you might be, because you don't really know when your critical thinking is correct. And you have to be able to check the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, the other totally authoritative sources, CDC, WHO. And if you have all those sources lined up on speed dial and on your computer, you don't really need critical thinking for anything, because critical thinking is fallible and you might come to the wrong conclusion, which would be terrifying to think about. So, the bad people came up with the idea and the quote. I almost hate to mention it, but you understand I'm just doing it to show what the really, lower consciousness people who don't even know about the high and deep levels of social justice. And they said things like, the media, mainstream media, is the enemy of the people. I mean, what a terrible thing to say. Mainstream media is working around the clock to keep us safe, and they really need to be appreciated. And who do you think that claim came from, that mainstream media is the enemy of the people? I'll give you, we don't have much time. I'll give you 5 seconds to guess. If you press the button Donald Trump, you're correct, and you may win a prize. I'm not sure. But that statement that came from the evil Donald Trump, that the mainstream media is the enemy of the people, fortunately, that statement was fact-checked by authoritative sources at CNN, and other mainstream media confirmed that it was found to be false. And understandable that misinformation would come from the most evil, violent, racist president in the history of the U.S. Not only a known racist, and that he's known to be a racist because he was accused of that, and that means he is one. And it was fact-checked also by numerous authoritative sources. He was also an Islamophobe, a xenophobe, a misogynist, a homophobe, an egomaniac, and many other kinds of phobe. Plus, he has orange hair. I mean, forget it. That does it, right? So he's the person who said about the enemy of the people. Even his warp speed project, which was, some people mistakenly thought that was a sign of sanity, and that, well, maybe he's not all bad. He knows that we need to be injected with toxic chemicals that change your genetic makeup. So he sounds like he might be coming around to some sense of sanity. But even that warp speed project, it produced shots that were not trustworthy, and that was confirmed and fact-checked by very reliable people like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and all the people that we hold as heroes and look up to. Now that the good administration is in power, thank God, and it's totally trustable. So you need to get yourself injected immediately, and everybody that you know and care about. And the ones who are talking about questioning or hesitating about getting injected or getting babies and children injected, you can, depending on where you live, you have to check where you live and the rules there. But in some of the more advanced places where the consciousness is much higher, like Los Angeles City, for example, at one point they were offering rewards to turn in the hesitant people, and especially in your own family. And the reason it's great to turn in people in your own family, you can get several at one time, and you're in a position where you look like you're just going about your business, but you're actually hearing what everybody is saying. And it's just ideal. I mean, that kind of background could get you prepared for a high-level government job. So don't take it as, don't just brush it off as something that's not of great value. It's great experience. And as the other evil jobs like small businesses are being shut down and destroyed, the government jobs are actually increasing, and the pay for them is going up. And there are great career opportunities coming up in the field of contact tracing and social justice, censorship, what else? Public health, outreach. There's all kinds of amazing careers coming up. So those people that are saying, being kind of pessimistic because they're seeing some of the evil independent businesses being destroyed, they don't understand this is a transition which will eventually lead the fortunate people who support it into high-paying, prestigious positions in the Great Reset. And the Great Reset actually has been talked about for decades now, and they're finally getting around to it. And if you get yourself injected and something unpleasant or bad happens to you as a result, which is actually impossible because you just remember safe and effective, and that you don't have to have any actual discussions about those things. If you just remember, the real science is to memorize safe and effective. And it just means that if something happens to you and somebody you know or yourself get sick or die, or some minor, extremely rare side effect, it means that it's actually working, and you should be grateful and recommend it to others while you're still able, while you're still conscious. Anyway, look into these great career opportunities coming up. There could be monitors and guards and class teachers at some of the fun camps that are coming. And you don't realize you've got lots of skills. If you've ever played a game, or many of you are experts in certain video games, those are great to teach people in the fun camps how to play them. So you've got incredible value in those places. So even the build up to the Great Reset is extremely exciting. And don't let the other people who are saying things like, at that evil meeting at CPAC or anywhere else like that, don't let them get you discouraged. They're going to be re-educated soon, and everything will be uniform thought, unapproved thoughts and speech will be eliminated finally. And in fact, the press secretary to the current good president is talking about how silly it is to be against online censorship, total surveillance, and things like that, because those are the very things that keep us safe. And she's working so hard without enough general appreciation from the public. So anyway, I'm going to have to go deal with the evil show that still has to go on because we're under contract for that. So I can't, give you too many more of the details of the great changes that are being worked on. But if you see troops in the street enforcing uniformity of thought and things like that, if one of the soldiers is not too busy, you can go up and ask him or her if there are job openings and what it really takes to join the social justice enforcement troops and really do something great for your country, eliminating diversity of thought, which is really not like official diversity, which is approved thought. You need a little bit of study to really understand the difference there. But there's so many opportunities. Just be awake and aware of them as they come up. As you stay safely in your home, you'll have all kinds of opportunity, and it'll probably come through on the device that you're playing your current video game on, and it'll say something like, we interrupt this video game to give you the latest career opportunity, or maybe just staying in your home and remotely reporting on any unauthorized behavior from the other people you're playing with, and you can help get their addresses and phone numbers, and it's just a world of opportunity. So don't be discouraged, and be grateful that you're not seeing the real Lost Arts Radio live show, which we're obligated to still do. And just so that you know where to avoid seeing it, so that you won't be stressed and have to be exposed to any really unpleasant, unauthorized thinking, there's a link below this video, live or in the archive, and it will show you where never to go to look at that. And for those of you that have been leaving us messages saying, what's wrong with you? First of all, I'm going to leave that for later. But the main thing is you need to get a little bit deeper perception, and that'll answer your questions. But I understand if you're really having a hard time understanding the deeper values of life, and you think that something called sarcasm doesn't exist, then you need to work on your meditation some more, and I'm sure you'll get there. So thank all of you very much. You're doing a great job. I know some of you are actually wearing more than 4 masks, which is a sign of incredible character and sacrifice. And remember, the more masks someone wears, the more valuable their character traits are, and the more they love their country and they're sacrificing for everybody else, because your mask keeps everybody else safe, but 4 masks like that can keep 4 other people safe. So thank you. You're doing a great job. And we look forward to seeing the results of your great work soon as the idea of uniform thought and total obedience spreads worldwide. And you know what that leads to? World peace. And so you're really appreciated. And those of you who make a mistake and go in 10 minutes to our real show, you can always jump back to this one and listen to it again. And that should get the stress overcome. All right. So have a great week. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. All right. Take care.